At the end of time, all that was left was Michael, the plague doctor, and Jimmy, but he had forgot to mention that Jimmy survived to his prior self. Well, through the words of the plague doctor, that is. But now begins the end of time. Alright, well, it's definitely gone quiet around here. I shouldn't be making jokes at this time, seeing that it is the end of time. Jesus Christ. I feel like I remember something. Something is odd. I don't know. I remember there was definitely something. Something from the Scarlet King paradox. What are you talking about? Nothing. I'm just suddenly remembering something. Something that I've forgotten. Something I wasn't supposed to remember till this point. Anyway, Plague Doctor, as I said, tell the prior me that at the end of time I sacrificed myself. Even though Boop Boop said that I could make a choice. Boop Boop said that in the end it's your choice, Michael. I forget when Boop Boop said that. It was probably a long time ago. But yeah, we talked about the end of time or whatever. But yeah, just tell me that, here's basically the script. Just memorize it. I have it perfectly, memorized, mainly because, I'm always recording with my helmet cam. Yes, indeed. I'll be certain to memorize this. It's the least I can do to help. Yeah, and I'm surprised I never brought up Jimmy. Like, the past me never asked about my own half-brother. I guess back then I still thought Jimmy was mainly mortal. I mean, he was sort of immortal because of his powers, the checkpoint powers, but yeah, I guess it's a bit odd that I never brought up to ask about my own half-brother. Yeah, but yeah, don't mention anything about Jimmy or anything. Just do that. Alright, good luck. I'm sending you back in time, Plague Doctor. Alright. So I'm going to be living in the back rooms from basically the beginning of time. Yeah, indeed, Plague Doctor. You'll definitely live a long time. I mean, it's a surprise to see you're still alive when everything else has died. Like, it seems impossible, but then again, sometimes the most impossible things become possible. Anyway, I better send you back in time. Yes, indeed, Michael. Alright, he's gone. Well, Jimmy, it's just us now. Just you and me. We're the last ones left. Not the only ones left. The Sky King. I was right. I did remember. Yes, you're starting to finally realize what's going on. The paradox has begun. Your past self is now within the future instead of your, present self being in the past. So technically the future version of yourself in the past when we first met, and now past version of you in the future, the opposite. Yes, I guess so. So what's going on? A paradox, remember? Yeah, I know it's a paradox, Scarlet King. Can you be a little bit more specific? Well, your timeline is very much falling apart. You have to fix it, Michael. You aren't going to sacrifice yourself in the end. You don't have to at the end of time. Everything is already gone. The only thing that remains is you, me, your brother Jimmy, and this realm, the realm of the dead. Would sacrificing yourself at the end of time leave any results? No, I guess not. Yes, precisely. So the only way to stop the end of time and what is happening right now is technically being caused by the paradox. The paradox has been consuming the multiverse, Michael. You just haven't realized it, and you haven't realized it in the past. But now you can finally fix this paradox. The paradox that is a result of both the future happening but also the past. And plus all of your multiverses combining together, but you need them to be combined together, otherwise you cannot have knowledge of what you shouldn't know, but you need to know every timeline because you already knew it. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. All of this is weird. Yes, logic is collapsing at it seems, but you need to do what you've done before. So combine your timelines. Alright? So how do I do it? Just use your powers. Alright, done. But what about the paradox? Well, the paradox is going to be the hard thing. I can't say for certain how it's going to be fixed. All I know is it's because of your story. Your story being created both in the past and present and future is going to inevitably create plot holes. Story points that are inconsistent, thus creating a paradox. Alright, so how do I fix these? Well, the thing is, you can't, but you can at least acknowledge it whenever you do find paradoxes, since you know all multiverses are technically a part of you, your different timelines. That's how you could acknowledge, like in Nightmare House 2, you both left Never Lose Hope Hospital, but also stayed in the hospital to kill Dr. Romero. Both options are true. It's just depending on what the viewer saw. Those that watch your story from the other multiverses / the main universe, the true universe you could call it. But nonetheless, you must from this point onwards acknowledge paradoxes and plot holes and whatever else. It's the only way to fix it. If you don't, the end of time, this will truthfully be a reality. The multiverse will collapse upon itself and everything will die. Alright? And that's simple enough, so what do? Just acknowledge it. Just acknowledge your story is inconsistent. Alright, well then, my story is inconsistent, and probably mainly because of that orange puppet fellow. Damn, haven't thought about him in a while. Just been sort of hanging out here at the end of time. Yeah, indeed. But now things can begin to fix themselves. Alright, job's done. Wait a second. If it's fixed, then what now? Well, this is still technically the end of your story. This is still technically supposed to resolve your story. The end of time, after all, is technically where you would die. I'm sorry, but that means you are gonna die right now, or at least soon enough, until the paradox consumes this part. But at least you saved your main self. I mean, you've already died once before. You died to me in that other multiverse that you couldn't combine into the timeline. Oh yeah, the universe where I died to you. I've never acknowledged that timeline because if it were reality, I'd basically be continuing the paradox. Yes, indeed. So then I'm gonna die too. Yes, but you die to save yourself. So it is technically true. You do sacrifice yourself at the end of time, but not to put Michael in every multiverse, SCP multiverse. only to save yourself, because at the end of time, nothing else exists. You can't save anyone if there's no one left to save. Yes, I guess that's true. So I can't save everyone if there's no one to save. Yes, exactly correct. So in the end, my ultimate sacrifice is to save myself. Wow, this is something. I always thought it was like a grand gesture to the multiverse. That's what I told the plague doctor to tell myself, but now I really know what it is. I'm actually sacrificing myself to save my past self, to stop the paradox, or at least make it less powerful. Well, the paradox will always exist. There's always going to be more plot holes and times where there are paradoxes and inconsistencies. But at least now, from now on, that can't affect you. It can't kill you. It can't kill the multiverse. Unfortunately, this version of you has to die to finish the job. Alright, then one last question. How much longer do I have to live? Probably only a few days. Same for Jimmy. And, yeah, I'm finally gonna die. Finally out of existence once and for all. I see. Well then, guess bye, Scarlet King. I did shoot the bullet into you that erased you from existence, but I guess a piece of you, a fragment, is still left. Yes, indeed. But it is for the greater good. Yes, indeed. So, basically, you made a paradox to fix a paradox, because I'm technically myself from when I met you in that point all the way back like a year ago, and like the past me in the future. So I'm technically sort of a paradox to fix a paradox. Fight fire with fire. Yes, indeed, you're really catching on now. I see. Well, and goodbye, Scarlet King. I guess it's really the end of time. Damn. Oh, Lord. Jimmy, we're gonna die. Yeah, I know. But I always knew this timeline probably wasn't gonna play out for us. I mean, everything had already ended long ago. Yeah, I guess so. Well, we're gonna no longer exist soon enough. Yeah, but it's for the greater good. Yep. Let's enjoy our last few days, brother. Yes, let's do that. So came the end of time. Jimmy and Michael would live their last days in this place, but at least they saved the true Michael, and that way he could continue to help save lives as long as he lived. And since he is immortal, he would live forever, saving lives across the multiverse. But now it is the end. But I guess Michael's story isn't over, because there's still the past happening. But this is the end of Michael's tale. But is it fully done? Who knows when the true end will come, if there will ever be a true end. But for now, this is the end.